Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of We Empower. I'm thrilled to have you all with us today. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired. Let's make today count. In today's episode, we'll be diving into recapping a few standout moments from the previous week before treating you to a song that hints at the intriguing personality of our special guest for today. Joining us today is Antonia, who will be sharing inspirational insights with us. So following that, I will introduce you to a very special book. To wrap things up, we will open the floor to one of your questions. So let's dive first into past week. Some global highlights of the week. Historic win for diversity in academia. This week, Harvard University announced that for the first time in its history, over 50% of its incoming freshman class identifies as a minority. This milestone highlights the university's ongoing efforts to create a more inclusive environment. This is a significant step towards representing the diverse fabric of our nation, said Harvard President Lawrence Baker. Groundbreaking legal victory for women's rights in Japan. In a landmark ruling, Japan's Supreme Court recognized a woman's right to return her maiden name after marriage. This decision marks a significant departure from traditional norms and promotes gender equality in legal identity. According to a survey by Japan's Cabinet Office, 70% of Japanese citizens support the right for women to keep their maiden names. This ruling empowers women and reflects our evolving social values, says advocate Yoko Yasegawa. Equality in pay. UK companies make strikes. A new report from UK's Office for National Statistics reveals that the gender pay gap among full-time employees has fallen to 7.4%, the lowest on record. This progress attributed to increased transparency and legislative measures. Democracy in action. Record voter turnout in Mexico. Mexico saw a historic voter turnout in its recent gubernatorial elections, with 63% of elderly voters casting their ballots. This marks the highest participation rate in the country's history. Catalonia's push for self-determination intensifies. Catalonia's regional parliament voted overwhelmingly to pursue another referendum on independence from Spain. This decision recognized a long-standing debate over regional autonomy. A recent poll shows 52% of Catalans support independence. Diversity in the tech industry, Google's new initiatives. Google announced a $150 million investment in diversity initiatives, aiming to increase the representation of minorities in tech roles by 2025. The company's latest diversity report shows that 48% of new hires in the US last year were from underrepresented groups. Diversity drives innovation, and we are committed to fostering an inclusive workplace, said CEO Sundar Pichai. Women's rights, progress in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia appointed its first female ambassador to represent the kingdom in Norway, marking a significant step in women's empowerment. This move is part of a broader reforms under Vision 2030, aimed at increasing women's participation in the workforce to 30% by 2030. Australia's corporate boardrooms. Australia's ASX 200 companies have reached a milestone, with women now holding 30% of board positions. This achievement follows years of advocacy and regulatory pressure to improve gender diversity in corporate governance. And New Zealand. Indigenous rights in New Zealand. New Zealand's government announced a significant policy shift, granting greater autonomy to Maori tribes over their land and resources. This move aims to rectify historical injustices and promote self-determination. This is a crucial step towards honoring our commitments to the Maori people, said Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. So last but not least, we step into Scotland's independence movement. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon announced plans for a second independence referendum, citing a growing desire for self-determination. Recent polls indicate that 55% of Scots now support independence. I'm here by Pink, so open up my heart, you can love me or not. Thank you very much, Antonia, for starting out this great song which introduces a tiny little bit also you, I guess. So welcome here in the show.
Anabel, thank you so much for having me.
So the song you sorted out is a powerful anthem that encourages a self-acceptance and embracing the challenges and imperfections of life. And I like it also very much. The lyrics convey a sense of resilience, determination, and the willingness to make mistakes in order to truly live. In the verse, Pink expresses a desire to break free from social norms and expectations. She embraces her flaws and indulges in life's pleasures, whether it's making mistakes, experiencing raw emotions, or engaging in passionate encounters. So I really, really like the song, not only, but also the sense of the song. Why do you have chosen this song, Antonia?
I think you explained very well. Exactly for that reason. The song is just so amazing. It's really, showing that every person should live everyone's life to the fullest. Don't be afraid of judgment. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. And it's such a powerful message, and I really like it.
Yeah, and I think especially what you're saying, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Maybe that could be also our first question after welcoming you in a way you've really earned it. So first, welcome Antonia here in this talk, in this radio show. I'm very happy to have you here. You are born in Berlin, a city which stands also, I think, for what it means to make mistakes and to be able to take a risk and see what happens if you make falling down the walls, right? And it has also something to do with yourself. You were born and raised in Berlin, so I'm happy to know a little bit more about that, what it made maybe with you, and I mean, some entrepreneurs says, okay, I was a baby and I knew already that I would be an entrepreneur. With you, it came also with a high engagement, but with a very true experience you might want to share with us later today. And you stepped with your startup into a field which morely or mainly men step into. But you stepped into this because you saw things which has to be done, and you saw that there is a gap you would like to fill. So I heard that you're also a traveler, um, and I heard that you also like Sarah Jessica Parker for her powerful being. So maybe we can start with that. I mean, you were born in Berlin, and about these two parts of Berlin, East Berlin, West Berlin, has it made something with you, or also the story of Berlin being a former divided city?
Yes. Wow, that's a big topic, Annabelle. For sure. I mean, I was born right before the fall of the wall, so in crazy times in East Berlin.
Wow.
So my mom, was in labor in the hospital where there was almost no doctor, no nurses because everyone was out on the streets.
Oh,
So there's were really crazy times. And I think that had influenced kind of my character as well. Because I think I'm very powerful as well, and I have a lot of power and need to change to make changes. So this was one thing, and then experiencing Berlin as the city compared to when I grew up and right now, it's very different.
yes,
To
indeed.
be honest, me personally, I don't differentiate between East Berlin and West Berlin. I know many people do that also in my family, but
Yeah.
for me, it's Berlin because every corner in Berlin, every district is so different and vibrant. Or yeah, that's why I love the city so much. You can have everything. For every person, everyone will find something that you like.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. I think you can love Berlin and you can hate Berlin, but there is nothing in between because Berlin makes something with you. It's not neutral, and I completely agree with you. For me, it was something which was following my early childhood, uh, where my father, as a communist, was involved and always jumping between the sides, East and West, and seeing the differences and then seeing how it went unifying. Um, by standing, and this is, I think, what you said, I would like to point out, Berlin was a very international city also beforehand, and it states, and every area is different. Does it make something with you, be in Berlin, getting inspired by this city more than others? Is this a city also where you said, where you think cities could be a bunch of inspiration, also determine or make something with your emotions?
For sure. I mean, growing up in Berlin, for me, many things were like so natural and obvious. For example, in my school, we were super diverse. We had like kids from everywhere in the world already, right? And when I left Berlin, when I studied, or when I started my first jobs in southern Germany, I was a little bit shocked that it's not like that everywhere. So, and then suddenly I heard words like, "oh, diversity," and I was like, "what? Like, why do you talk about diversity? Like, just do it." And because that's how I grew up. We didn't had a name for it. It
Yeah.
just was like that. So that's, I think, a big difference. And of course, it impacts you a lot, but you did not really know it when I was a kid, for sure.
Yeah, it was natural, and you grow up maybe in a different way, with more open-minded, and maybe also with a more power, because you haven't received those limitations, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's what I would say.
And starting your own business, I mean, you said there was a story where you had, where we were waiting for handcrafters, right? And you were frustrated because nobody came, and it was hard to get them. And that was the start of your startup, right?
Yes, that's correct. So actually, when I started the company together with my partner back then, it was not really the plan, like what we're doing or why we're doing it, but we really saw a need.
Yeah.
In my case, it was that I had a damage in my apartment, so very standard situation for every person. And of course, yeah, someone like a craftsman came, but he came after 3 months. And then, yeah, he came, he was too late because of all the traffic. He told me he was complaining, he has so much to do and no people to do the job. And then he looked at the damage for 2 seconds and said, "okay, thank you. I will approach you next week." And I was a little bit shocked. I was like, "why are you telling me all the
Oh,
problems you have, and then you're here for a 2 seconds visual check only?" It didn't make any sense to me. And coming from a very digitized automotive industry, that's my background. Yeah, I was like, okay, we need to fix that, because it's a problem so many people have, and everyone knows about that. Yeah, and thinking about the lack of workers we are facing, and the next years it will be we're getting crazier and crazier. So yeah, I really want to tackle it using digitization to solve
yeah.
those unnecessary and costly on-site visits.
And would you say that you made have made a difference since then?
Yes. So that's actually also my motivation when I see the users and the companies really benefiting from it, not sending people like driving for 100, 200 kilometers like to a customer for a 2-minute visual check, but really doing this remote online saves them so much time and money. And also for the worker, it's much more convenient to do the job remote.
Great. So I'm happy to talk further with Antonia. And Antonia, I saw in your biography and about your information that you had a great childhood. To be honest, when I read what you've written, I was a bit like, oh my God, that sounds like really, really childhood. I would have sorted out if I could. You were in the compulsory of the States Opera in Berlin. You were part of the chorus of kids chorus of the State Opera in Berlin. You were attending a music school, and you were starting piano playing very early. Um, when you look back, what would you say? What made it with you to be in this area? What profitized you from that?
Very good question. For me, what I learned and saw is that you should always do things that you like and that you love. I always had fun and enjoyed it. Yes, it was hard work, a lot of times, but I enjoyed it so much. And also seeing what you can achieve working in a team when you're singing in a choir or playing in an orchestra. Um, the whole team makes it work. It's not just you as a single person or like a single singer. So that's really important to me also in work.
Mhm.
And the last thing I would say is also discipline. To really work hard, you have a goal. You have, okay, on that date, you need to go on stage and you need to perform. But to be prepared for that. And during the rehearsals to make mistakes, to do it again and again and all over again. And even I remember some rehearsals we did together with Daniel Barenboim, where he got really angry, but in a positive way, because it wouldn't work as he wanted to be.
Mhm.
And he would just leave the rehearsal. Um, and imagine there's like a whole choir, a whole orchestra, so many people on stage, and
Yeah.
then you're kind of waiting. And I was a kid and I really didn't know what's happening here. But then he came back and I wasn't, I really liked it actually, because I really liked that he showed his emotions. You could
Yeah.
understand what he thinks,
Mhm.
what he wants to achieve, and that every tiny detail is
Yeah.
really important. And that's something I will always remember. And I know that's, I'm very proud, I must say, to have that I was able to work with him together,
Mhm.
but also, to have this chance to be on stage in the State Opera in Berlin.
I can imagine. And I like what you said. And I think it's super, super important. I think if more people could imagine the power of team or the power of group, that in an orchestra or chorus, everybody has its own role, but the power is only there when you're all together. And this is a kind of goosebump situation from my point of view, because you really feel, wow, it's getting through your whole body. We are one. This is something I sometimes think it would be great if a lot more people could feel it, because then they understand why it's important to behave resource oriented, to be friendly to each other, or positive, not talking behind their backs, giving something back for that what you were given by the nature. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. I agree. I think music in general is like really important, and also being creative.
Yeah,
It can also be painting, but like with all the technologies that we have right now and that will come up in the future, I think like kindergarten, school, the whole system need to change. But
yeah.
what keeps, or what is still important, is the creativity from kids, because that's
Mhm.
what really brings up new ideas. People will find new ways, new creative ways to tackle solutions in the future. So that's very, very important, and I really hope that kids still have fun with being creative, singing in choirs, playing instruments, painting, do gardening, whatever you like, but not just being on the smartphone.
Yeah, exactly. I like very much what you are saying, that you say first, not smartphone, because this is limiting your idea of the word and also your activity, but also that you point out this creativity in every case. I completely agree with you. And I think it's more important than ever, where you have all the facilities where you don't need it normally for your daily work and can have for each some digital device, but it's more and more important to stay human, right?
Yes, for sure. Especially in these days, I think we have
Mm,
so many crises, so many negative news every day. But being human and really looking around you, like talking to your neighbors, talking to your family, your friends, like when you go in the grocery store buying something, be friendly, uh, say hi to the people around you. I think this is something where you can really make a positive impact every day.
yeah,
And what I see in Berlin, and that changed from when I grew up in Berlin as a kid, my impression is that back in the days, people were always smiling on the street. Everyone was really positive and friendly and supportive.
Yeah,
Today, I have sometimes the feeling when I'm somewhere and I would fail, no one would care.
yeah.
And that's what really makes me, thinking about the situation. And that's why for me, it's really important to make an impact every day, support people on the street, smiling to them, saying hi.
Wow, that means a lot to me that you're talking like that, because I feel the same in Berlin, but also in other cities, where I first thought, okay, to protect me against that, is it better to stay the same, so with a poker face, or is it better to just smile or say hello or say something positive? And I decided, as you, to do different, to make an impact. So as you, I greet everybody in the morning, when I'm at the store to buy bread or something. I start small talk with the people, because I would like to bring positive meaning into the word, and I think it's up to everybody to doing this, to make a start for to live a life worth living in, right?
Yes, 100%. I remember a situation when I was on train and then a guy entered the train and he had like a lot of paintings in his hand. He wanted to sell. And I was like, wow, I never experienced that in Berlin. You have like musicians and so on, but not really, someone that is selling paintings. Um, so I started talking to him, like how come he's doing it, and we had such a great conversation. He said he had like a very successful exhibition once,
Oh,
but then or due to COVID, everything crashed, and now he has to really look for every euro he has in the pocket.
wow.
Um, in the end, I bought a painting. I really also liked it. But just having this exchange and showing interest in other people and their stories, I think is very helpful also for people. We are humans. We want to be recognized. We want to be heard. So that's things that you can really do every day.
Exactly. I'm so much with you. And interestingly, you stepped first into a part, which is technical, which is not about social or emotions first. You stepped into the field of automotive, and you worked for Porsche, for example. What was the background of, or what was the reason for this decision? And um, what, yeah, what was that, what you took out of that? Maybe also special experience you made there. Um,
I studied business, and when you study business, and you watch the news and TV, you always see the big brands, right, from the commercials and so on. And I mean, the automotive industry in Germany is, I think, the biggest industry we have, is very important, very well known. So
mhm.
for many people, it's like, the goal to start working there. You have very good salaries and so on.
Yeah,
It's international. That was important for me actually to start a job in an international environment. And I applied for the jobs, and I got it. In the end, working there, I had, I think, a different um, idea of what it is to work there, right? I mean, I came from an international business school in Norway, and then I ended up, in an area near Stuttgart, in a very traditional German, company,
yeah,
where things are very slow. I mean, there's always a reason for that. There's no judgment, just how it is. It's very slow. You have long decision-making processes and so on.
mm,
And for me, it was interesting to see that. But I knew, okay, wow, now I'm still super free, right? I don't have children. I don't have nothing, like no credits, nothing. I can do what I want.
mm,
So I need some change, right? Because that's not the environment that fits,
mm,
for me in this situation. Maybe later on, but not right now.
mm,
But then I was really lucky that when I was working with Mercedes-Benz, I started, this trainee program.
mm.
And this was a really good program, because we were 27 people, I think, in our group, very international.
Super.
Um, we had also like different assignments in different cities in different countries. So I had the opportunity to go to China, and work there. I was super happy about it, because there was such a amazing opportunity, like a once in a lifetime thing that you do.
Yeah.
And this also made so much with me to really see, wow, it's for me, it was never about the money, never, like, but really having this experiences, going abroad, like to China, working there, getting to know the culture, the people, was for me always, the biggest motivation, right? So I was very happy, that I could have the chance. Later on, I switched roles. I had different positions, within the company. But then later on, I decided, to do something totally different. I planned actually to work for an NGO in Norway,
Oh,
collect trash from the coastline, from the beaches, and so on, while living on a sailing boat.
wow.
Um,
Great. Living on a sailing boat.
yes, exactly.
Wow, cool.
And
And you
this could
start with
not. No, I could not. Everything was planned and scheduled, but 2 days before, I planned to go there. COVID came and the
that?
first lockdown.
Oh,
So everything was shut down and closed. So I couldn't do that, and that was the situation. Without a job, without an apartment, and just a piece of luggage, I moved in with my parents again and started to work on AIVITEX on my company.
oh, wow. What a great, great chance COVID gave you, what?
Yes, exactly.
And are you still in this idea of supporting this plastic-free oceans where you wanted to start with?
Yeah, so I really hope one day I can join them. You must know it's all volunteers. I
Wow.
think I'm too old for it already because usually volunteers are, I think, until age of 30 or so,
Okay.
that you can support, but you can support in other ways. You can also, like, donate some money or whatever.
So, I mean, maybe we should talk later about that because I'm plastic waste collecting since I'm 7, and founded Green Bites some months ago together with Planet Matters and World Cleanup Day. So we are all in Berlin located, and maybe this is an idea to come together there too.
I participated in the World Cleanup Day, I think also during COVID, but I don't remember exactly the year. But I participated here in Berlin, and I was shocked just in like one street how much trash there is, and especially the tiny pieces. Insane.
It's always when we meet in Berlin, it's first that we say, "Oh, forget about Berlin. It won't stay more than 15 minutes to collect what is in the area of 150 meters here around us." And then it's always what you say. We are so shocked what you find, and it takes something half an hour, 1 hour that we have collected all the pieces. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's of course not resource oriented to just collect. We have to start by preventing that we don't even use it, that we don't even have to throw it away. And yeah, but maybe we can talk about this later. It's great that you're in this field, that you touched this field already. So let's see, maybe this could be something we can talk further, right?
Yes, I would like to do that, and yeah, really nice that you started this and working in this.
Thank you. But back to you now. We have not that much time left, unfortunately. I mean, you are very organized, you're very disciplined, you're very creative. Are there some hacks you would like to share besides that, what you already shared with us?
I think I wouldn't call it a hack, but to be honest, when I came into this whole startup business and bubble, everyone is sending you books you should read and things you should do. And for me, there was this one time where I said, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Like, I really took the pressure out of it because I saw that it's so much pressure that other people like just put on you, and like, okay, you need to wake up at 5 to be successful. You need to do 1 hour yoga, and I was like, no, when I wake up, I feel good. I don't have to do anything. So I
Don't
think,
go.
yeah, I think this can actually help just take out the pressure from, that's definitely one thing. And the other thing that works for me is really to dedicate time. For me, in these days with the news, usually I read news like all day long. But now with so many negative news, I really said, okay, I watch news for 10 minutes in the morning and that's it for the whole day.
That's great. So you take care of your positive feelings to avoid from too much overwhelming of public crisis from outside, which you even can't solve by yourself, right?
Yes, exactly.
Is it maybe also a kind of a statement that you say, change where you can change, but step away from things you can't change and put your energy just inside you and this where you can be a mover?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's very important also when you grow your business, because there is so many stakeholders, so many things you cannot change, you cannot affect. Then don't think about it. Don't care about it. Do the things that you can change, that you can manage, and do them now. And then the other things might disappear from its own or might change as well. And then maybe later on you can make an impact.
Yeah, maybe one last quick question here for the audience. If someone is interested to get your service, where do you offer currently your service and which areas are planned to be offered?
So AIVITEX is currently available like in whole Europe. We have our base and obviously the most customers, companies using AIVITEX in Germany. However, we have actually also customers in the UK.
Ah,
Um,
okay, that's good.
and one other country in Europe, but the software is available in every language.
That's super. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here, Antonia. So looking forward to seeing you soon and maybe about some further cooperations. I have some in mind which could occur. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the great questions and excited to talk to you further about new ideas.
Thank you.